But I think also as well, trying to educate the educational system. So when I went into the evening classes, straight away the tutor judged me instantly. Because I went in from work, I'd been out and about in meetings, so I had got full face makeup, hair was done, looking pristine.
Yeah.
And he sort of went like that straight away.
Was that because you were a woman, or just the way?
Because I was the only female on the course, and we sat down in the classroom for the first session. I thought, I'm not going to take high vis because it's going to be paperwork, getting inducted, and all that sort of stuff. And he said, "Oh, next session you need to have high vis when you're in the workshop." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And he was like, "There's yellow ones up there. Sorry if they're not your colour and they don't go with your complexion though." And I was like, "Oh, okay, here we go." I was like, "Yeah, well, orange is more my colour." So anyway, the next time I went in, and he was like, there was a few comments of, "Oh, what about if you chip your nail?" Or, "Oh, you're going to be all right doing this and that." And I thought, for fuck's sake, here we go. And then after a few conversations, he then starts to realise that what I'm actually about, and then realises that I'm not just some sort of dolly bird. Then after that he was amazing, but it had to get to that point for him to realise I wasn't just there to, and he kept saying, "Oh, you're getting a lot of photos and stuff." And I was like, "Well, yeah, because I want to show my own content of me learning. It's not for me to go, oh, here's me with doing whatever. It's actually, here's me grafting.
Here's me with my pink trowel."
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But honestly, I was just like, oh, here we go. And I thought at that point, no wonder why women don't want to come into it if you're going to get judged from that point straight away.
The thing is, I know I'm going to get a load of trolls on this, but I also think I have to keep talking about it because so many ladies come on this show, and I'm a big champion for trying to push women in trades, whatever trade.
Thank you for that, because we need more of you.
Well, I don't know whether my wife thanks me for anything, but I just feel like every time I'm talking to a lady that comes on here, they've had that experience, but there's so many guys that are just very dismissive, or that never happens because I've never seen it on site. Do you know what I mean? So they're so dismissive, and a lot of guys be like, "Stop ramming this stuff down our throats." Do you know what I mean? But I'm going to keep talking about it because until somebody comes on and goes, "It hasn't happened," and I think we've only had one. Is it? I think Darcy.
We haven't had many.
Is it one? Maybe two. But I just feel like more people need to talk about it, so guys can actually just, like, don't get me wrong, there's always going to be banter on a site, but stuff where it's negative from the off, just because of how you look, obviously from a perception, is just, for me, it's just not on. And I find it boggles my mind. It absolutely boggles my mind. That
even not even on site or construction related. When I've gone to awards and I go with my husband, the amount of times we've sat down at a table,
people think the awards.
And they go, "Oh, what award are you up for, mate?" And I'm just sat there like, "Oh, here we go again." And now we just joke about it. We think it's quite amusing.
Husband of the year. Husband of the
Chauffeur. Number one supporter.
Photographer of the year. There's just so many I'm here for.
But that is, and even that, you think, oh my God, we're in this setting, and it happens all the time. It's not just once or twice. It's 95%.
I can get it to a certain extent because the majority of people go into these, it is primarily male, but I just feel like now there shouldn't be any presumption on what you're there for or what award you're up for, whatever. It should just be normal. Do you know what I mean? Just be like, oh, how come you're here? And then you go, oh, well, I'm up for an award. Like if you're unsure about it, just toss it
straight in.
But so a lot of people, and especially a lot of ladies, if they'd have gone and had that same experience, and this is, guys will go, "Oh, stop being a snowflake about it." But if you're already apprehensive because you are a lady and you walk into that room and you suddenly don't see any other ladies, or we had who was it? Who was it on? It was Tyson. So Tyson, obviously, who we had on, what's Tyson's handle for plumbing? Fairway Plumbing and Heating. So Tyson obviously changed his name to Tyson when he was going out on site because obviously he's mixed race, wasn't getting any work. And it's the same maybe when he walks into a room, you walk into the room as a lady, there's nobody else that looks at you. And if you get one of those comments and you haven't had a good day, is that going to impact you to then go home and be like, come back to you and say, "I'm not going to that. like that, I just can't deal with that shit. And then if it's not just once, it's twice when you're going there, or it takes at least 5 weeks for him to suddenly go, well, actually, she's been here the whole time and she wants to learn, type of thing. It just puts people off. So how do we break that stigma, and how do we stop that? Was it somebody that was older as well? Yeah.
The pale male stale generation that we have as well.
So I feel like obviously you're doing a lot of work on sites. Would you say that in the 10 or so, almost 10 years that you've been doing your business for, would you say attitudes on site have changed towards?
Some, yeah, some no. I mean, even now you still have to, I always say you've got to earn your stripes. So even if I'm sat pitching to a client, they want me to show that I know what I'm talking about, because I think you get it straight away. They're like, oh, what does she know? She's just a dolly bird. So I always have to just go above and beyond.
Why don't people just say, how many years of experience have you got?
Because I think
Can you tell me about your business?
I think they just
sell me your business
look.
rather than...
They just look. And also, let's be real, most people would probably, in my opinion, if that was me and I was having someone pitch to me, I would go and look at all their social media. I'd look at their company's house and I'd all that sort of stuff.
That's what I
like
do.
Most people would. Yeah. But you still don't get it. And it's and even now, still, you will still get the site, what should I say, where they're like, and I think, Jesus Christ, I'm not an alien. I've not just fell out of the sky. Most of the guys across the region have seen me on and off site a lot, because obviously I've done this for a long time. So it's not as if it's a new face, like, who's that? You know who I am, for crying out loud. Yeah. But even that, they're still like, you've just fell out of the
And I mean, the thing
space.
is, when you've already got those relationships and people know that you are not just a fly-by-night, you're not just here for I'll quickly into the industry and then bugger off, and you are part of the furniture, and you're still getting that. I mean, how do you does that give you more motivation then to be successful, or does that sometimes does it wear you down? Like,
I've probably had it, I'll be honest, start of this year, and obviously my other half can back me up on it. I really, really struggled with mental health, and that was just purely because there was a lot of negativity, a trolling, things like that you think, this isn't even relating to what I do as a job. It's about my passion. What's the point? Like, I'm not doing this for money making. I'm doing it to support the wider community of construction. Yet I'm being pulled down for it, and I really, really struggled with it. And there was a few times you just think, what's the point? It'd be so easy to go and work in, I don't know, say Tesco, stack
Morrison's,
shelves, 10 hours a day, go home, not be anybody, not raise my head above the parapet and try and help them champion certain things. To then, so that was a tough point. So but that's the only time.
How would you pick yourself up out of that and then sort of say to yourself, well, do you know what? I'm not going to let it.
Because I then look at what I've done over however many years, what I've built, what the impact I've had is. And I've also got, like I say, very good people around me to say, don't let that bother you.
Because I do want, if there are girls listening to this or watching this, not to feel like I'm trying to get something negative out of you. I'm just trying to get them prepared, because I don't feel like anybody should have to be prepared for that, but just to understand the stuff that can happen or the stuff that is happening.
You can also then have, on a positive side, I've got some amazing clients, candidates that have worked with me a long, long time that are true champions and will support me no matter what. If I rang them up and said, I need help with this, or I've just done a carpentry course. One of my clients said, well, come out on site. Because he's an ex-carpenter himself. He's like, come and work on site for a day. I'll show you. We'll do a first fix together. Amazing. Like, they're the positives you do get out of it. Yeah. And it isn't all negative, but there is a lot of negatives you have to prepare yourself for and be mentally strong for.
Again, how do we change opinions around, like, women in trades, and also how do we get other people to just be more supportive of what everybody's doing instead of being, trying to tear people down, trying to build people up? And
I think it's just about being kind to people. If somebody's out there trying to do something or trying to better their life or change, if there's a lady that's coming into it on your site, actually being, right, what can I do to support you? Not going, oh, fucking hell, what are you doing here? Yeah. That kind of thing, and actually just understanding.
Do you place many ladies for roles?
Not as many as we'd love to. But again, it's that we're lucky because obviously we can then have that conversation with the client. So on day one, they'll turn up. They know oh, we've got a lady. They're
Watch
expecting
out
that.
for pervert Jim.
Yeah. Get him away.
But it's very similar, actually. I'll touch on it with the stuff that's been going on in the Houses of Parliament. Mm-hmm. So from what I did a bit of digging, and I think there was 65 cases, ongoing cases of sexual harassment.
Blimey.
And there's 650 something MPs. So it's 10%. You know, obviously, again, we talked off camera about LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So this was another thing which I didn't realise was, as a guy, I only get other guys message me. I don't really get a lady approach me on LinkedIn or to ask me anything unless it's selling me something. And there was a lady that worked here and she left, and I talked about this with you, and she showed me her messages, and it was literally guys just trying to crack onto her all the time. And again, that educated me, because I must be so naive, because I would never contact a lady on LinkedIn to tell her that she looked beautiful and your eyes are amazing and give me your number or anything like that. And, you know, you talked about that with me out there. And
it does happen. I've even had dick pics sent.
On LinkedIn?
No, they found my number on LinkedIn.
I was going to say on LinkedIn,
and
there's
then
no...
sent it.
There is, I mean, like...
They found my number on LinkedIn, sent it to me.
Without ever talking to you?
Correct, yeah.
Just to...
Yeah.
I mean... just...
What catch, eh?
Sorry about that.
What on earth? I mean, I shouldn't laugh about that, but just...
Yeah.
That is just unreal.
I'll just laugh, I think, really.
Like, I cannot fathom how somebody would get your number off LinkedIn of all places and then go, have a load of that. What planet? Like, sorry, you're going to have to cut that one, but that is just...
Madness.
And this is things that, like, you know, guys, if you are listening to this and you think I'm some sort of simp, like, just for 2 seconds, think about all you want to do is go to work, come home, and that is it. You do not want to come home and somebody has got their and sent you a picture of it. You imagine, like, well, in fact, I won't say this to guys, you imagine that a woman sent it to you, because most guys go, yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
but,
they would.
Like, put yourself in that position that it's somebody that you do not want to send you that, somebody that you don't want more unwarranted attention off, and you know, you've always got that in the back of your mind. It's not only you're going out on site or you're going on jobs and you're still getting shit off people, you're still getting sly comments when you go to learn off people. You're then getting sexually harassed by people. Like, you know, I'll take my hat off to you, because most people would have chucked the towel in. I probably would have, because I probably would have gone, I can't handle this shit. I don't want any of that. What do I need it for?
Yeah.
Which you can understand the toll on the mental health.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you are getting comments and you're thinking, well, I'm dealing with all this and how I'm having to deal with this shit as well. Do you know what I mean? But guys, just stop and think. No heavy breathing. Just control your sexual urges. You raving perverts. Like, I just cannot fathom it. Like, on behalf of most men, like the majority of good guys, like, I've got to apologise, because there's obviously I don't even know how to carry that conversation on now. I'm so like...
I thought I'd share that with you.
No, I'm just like semi-infuriated by it, because I just feel like it just shouldn't even be a thing now.
No.
It shouldn't even be a thing. What you should do is just start having a collage of them somewhere and putting them out there and saying, whoever this was, like, unfortunately your balls are so ugly and look at the state of that. And just...
I nearly sent him a razor back, to be honest, because he did need to do some gardening.
But isn't it... I mean, the problem is if, like, you did do that, you'd probably get... Is that revenge porn? Is that classed as revenge porn? If you posted them out there.
Just a bit of advice.
But I've completely lost where I am now.
Sorry.
It's just mental. Absolutely mental. How do we move on from dick pics, Jack? I say, like, there's very few times that I am ever, like, lost for words. But it worries me, because I've got a daughter myself.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had this conversation before with, is it Georgina? And she's got, like, a logging business with her father, and she was talking about a girl came in and went, oh, look, Daddy, there's a girl working here, you know, all that sort of stuff. And I said to her, I said, if my daughter ever said to me she wants to go into trades or anything, I'd never say, well, you can't do it. Do you know what I mean? But that stuff sort of semi gets me like, makes me piss ball. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think, help me out here, Jack. I'm getting more infuriated by somebody else's schlong than I ever have. Any other questions you think we can? Just, it does really anger me, because I you're probably the same. Like, you just, don't get me wrong. When you're young, you'll chase girls and you'll have a little bit of romance and stuff like that. But I'd never, ever, on a platform that is professional.
Yeah, I know.
Even think about that.
But some of the comments you get and like messages, you just think, really?
That's your number for you to do work. That's not somebody else's number for them to send and invade your.
Yeah. And it was on a Saturday. It was a weekend.
Yeah.
But imagine explaining that to your husband. Oh, hon, look at this.
But no, I mean, like, it's good that you've got that relationship, because, to be fair, some ladies might, like, there might be dating guys as well, because some guys can be quite controlling and be like, oh, what's that on your phone? And then theoretically you've got kids or whatever. The first instinct of anybody is to be like, well, who are you doing stuff with? Do you know what I mean? Like,
but that's why I've always been honest. I think if you're not, because there are things like that. But
some people feel like they might not be able to say that to their partner, because they'll just, wow, you're obviously sleeping with somebody and blah, blah, because it can look like that. Yeah. So, guys, you end up splitting somebody up or putting pressure on people's relationships.
Madness.
I never thought of that either. I'm going to get stuck on some dick pics here, aren't I?